Hello, hello, good people. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Shauna Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you all being here. Down below, you see the correct spelling of my name. My IG information is there. Please pop onto my IG page for political news content all throughout the week. I'm constantly posting information. Then, lastly, you have my cash up there. If you'd like to bless the channel, and we would greatly appreciate you here at Make America Think Again. Okay, so I'm going to do a little miscellaneous mashup. I got a couple of topics I want to cover really quickly in this one. And I'm going to start off with California. Californians, just today, the regime pulled federal dollars for the Los Angeles Homeless Authority. And they claimed because of the fraud that is in that department. Now, this is the largest homeless authority in the nation, of course, because California is so large and Los Angeles is so large. And we have a very high population of unhoused people. But here's what I want to say to you in regards to this specifically. Three things. Number one, is the regime already showing us our hand? Is this already foreshadowing of what they plan to do if they're able to get the felon's hand-picked candidate in the governor's seat, Steve Hilton? Is this the plan? To pull all the money for unhoused folks in California, all over the state. It wouldn't be limited to Los Angeles at that point. It would be all over the state if they were able to get their candidate in the governor's office. And their candidate is Steve Hilton. Please make a note of that. Please remember that come November. Number two, if they were able to get Steve Hilton into office and Steve Hilton would proceed with this, would the next step be to make being unhoused illegal, just as they have done in the state of Louisiana, so they can further their efforts through the icy folks and arrest even more people, throwing them into these for-profit prisons and making money off of them as modern day slaves, paying them that $1 or $1.50 an hour and contracting them out to companies and farms, etc., making them work 8+ hours a day for $1.50 or $1.20, like they're doing at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey. Is that the next step? If they were able to get Steve Hilton into office? Think about these things. Because this just came out of the regime. It just dropped. This information just dropped today that he's going to pull this money, and they want you to look at it as like a retaliation for them not being able to get Spencer Pratt on the ticket because it's targeting Los Angeles. But it's bigger than Los Angeles, because if they're able to get their candidate in the governor's office who can oversee all the counties and all the cities, then they're still going to be able to do whatever. So if you think about San Jose, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, all the major cities where they can pull funding for unhoused people, do you know how many people that would be that would supply this free labor for all these companies? They're just sitting back waiting for more bodies to come through these private prisons, these for-profit private prisons. So really think about this, Californians, going into November. What they could do with this on the governor's level, what they're trying to do with this in regards to Los Angeles, and also make sure that, as the midterms come up, do not blame Mayor Karen Bass for this. Do not blame Karen Bass for what happens next, because she will not have the federal dollars that she had just yesterday to try to take care of the homelessness that's happening in Los Angeles. There was a third point that I had overall in regards to this situation. Louisiana, the private prisons. Hold on. Let me look at my notes because I don't want to leave you without making this last point on this. Oh, and then right now, actually, Governor Newsom, I want to speak to Governor Newsom. You have the opportunity, because here's just yet another example why California should be keeping all of its federal dollars. You have just another example of why we need that money to stay right here. So if they're cutting off the federal dollars for unhoused people, we can hold our money here, withhold those federal tax dollars that we as a donor state provide to this nation. You only have a couple of months left, Governor Newsom. Cut it off. Cut the money off. That way you move out of the governor's seat. It won't directly fall on Becerra, because I'm claiming that Becerra is going to win, that these federal dollars have been cut off. And we have now from June through what, November, December. Actually, I don't think he will be sworn into office until, no, he might be sworn into office in December. So we have until the end of the year where those federal dollars can cease going to this regime and funding and supporting our own demise through this regime. Cut it off, because now we need to keep that money here. And Governor Newsom, this is another way that you can take a stand. And I believe that the American people, because we know you're going to run in 2028, I believe that the American people will see, the majority will see what you were doing in regards to pushing back against this regime, and they'll support you. So I want all Californians to pay attention to this, though. Please pay attention, because if he's able to get Steve Hilton into that governor's seat, they will do more damage. And right now, he's showing his hand. Pay attention. The next thing I wanted to talk about real quickly is that over 2.5 million of the Epstein files still have not been released. Still have not been released. What we found out this week was that J.D. Vance had been holding secret meetings in the Situation Room to protect the felon and the information that was coming out through the Epstein files. They've been holding secret meetings in the Situation Room. The Situation Room is like a war room. It's used for war. It's used for the major stuff, not to protect, not to perpetuate a cover-up for the person who is occupying the Oval Office. But this is what J.D. Vance has been doing. So the information that also came out this week, that 2.5 million of the Epstein files still have not been released. And within those files, I believe that's where Sasha Riley lives. I believe that's where information about all the boys resides, in those 2.5 million Epstein files. I said it once and I'll say it again. As long as Les Wexner and Peter Thiel were involved in this Epstein crime syndicate, there had to be boys and there had to be men. And y'all know why I'm saying that. All right, so another thing that we learned was that the felon has a predilection for nipples. Apparently, one of the victims was forced or marketed, sold out to the felon. And within the files, she talks about the felon's predilection to nipples. And remember, the majority of these victims were very young women or children. And that 2.5 million of these files still have not been released. The last thing I want to touch on is I want to circle back to data centers, because we really have to pay attention to these data centers. So Fisk University and HBCU, this is the first HBCU I have seen. Fisk University is trying to sell a data center on their campus, on the land that is owned by Fisk University, as a win and an expansion of the university. When from the outside looking in, to me, it just looks like a lazy way of fundraising. Basically, what this president, in my opinion, is doing is accepting money from whatever company is trying to build this data center on the campus, versus going out and fundraising from a lot of different corporations and building it as, oh, we're going to first of all, think about it, it's a data center. What jobs? AI is taking jobs. AI is not creating jobs. Now, there are people right now that are in computer science or getting their degrees in computer science, et cetera, cybersecurity, all those sorts of things. AI is about to phase all that out as well. AI is becoming smarter than us. That is the progression of AI right now. So to me, this is a bunch of bullshit. The fact that Vanderbilt is just down the street, nobody's proposing to put a data center near Vanderbilt on their campus. There's another PWI that I think is within 8 miles of Fisk University as well. Nobody's proposing a data center on their property. Why did they come to the HBCU? Why is the HBCU accepting a data center? And like I told you in the last episode I posted, right now we're starting to see not just the dirty water, not just the undrinkable water or the water drying up, the rivers drying up in these areas, especially in Texas. We're also seeing now farmers are reporting that cattle are just giving birth to stillborn calves. And then you have, of course, the absorbent electric bills, but I'm more concerned about the health. The fact that the water is either disappearing or it's too dirty to bathe in or to drink. What's happening to crops? What's happening to the food in these data center areas? Will we be able to ingest it? What's going to happen to all the students on this campus being in close proximity to those data centers day in, day out? So this is something to keep on the radar, and I would like for us all to really pay attention to how many HBCU campuses they are trying to target and put these data centers on those campuses. And if you all have any children, students, any relatives working on these campuses, make sure that they are being hyper aware that these corporations, these AI companies are going to start, unfortunately, coming to them because they know that these HBCUs will take the money and they can, present it as, some form of higher education for the students, enhancing the program. But what good will that do if everybody dies? What good will that do if everybody gets cancer? What good will that do if you can't even drink water, or the kids in the dorms can't shower? What good will that do? This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. All right, I'll talk to you soon.